welcome to the Nuclear Reactor. Today we'll be reacting to What If Goku Was Female. I don't really think it would change much. I mean, it's still Goku, no power changes or anything, but let's just see. It'd be interesting, and I've been looking really forward to this. So, hopefully it's as good as I've been hoping, but let's get started.
Goku? Goku fights like a girl. Because
Sexist.
he is one now. Hey guys, Masako X here. You know, these what ifs, they can be rather compelling sometimes. Sometimes they can be easy, sometimes they can be hard. Other times they're completely well answered questions with plenty of footing in the lore. Other times they can be really, really difficult, or sometimes really boring, or sometimes really, really wacky. This time, I wish to touch upon an idea which is rarely spoken about. Well, at least it's rarely spoken about with due respect. And that is, of course, what if Goku was female? Now, before we begin, I want to say that this episode requires a certain level of tact and respect. And thanks to all the support that I've had, loads of my friends have given me feedback about this, and just giving me the idea about how it might possibly work. I have to thank them in advance, so thank you very much for your help. This what if is quite unusual in that it only realistically has one simple change. Kakarot, when they are born, instead of being a boy, Kakarot's a girl. That's it. No power changes, no change in assignment or anything. It's basically the same. Simply put, the second born of Bardock is still sent off planet because Bardock, no matter what he's thinking, he wants to get his offspring off of the planet before it blows up or anything bad happens. So no matter what gender his children are, he's going to make sure they get out lickety-split. Upon landing on Earth, Grandpa Gohan would still come across the baby Goku and would still take her in because, come on, it's a baby with no sign of parents or anything like that. So you're going to take her in. And over the next few months, he begins to observe her ferocious temperament, yet also at the same time, her keen fascination in his martial arts training. She'd fall into some kind of trance whenever Gohan's practicing his morning exercises and whatnot. And he began to notice this. It's kind of like the same equivalent of a lullaby. Then, of course, we have the head injury, which would then turn Goku into a rather placid child who's a complete delight to be around. Other than that, there isn't really anything that's drastically changed. I believe that Grandpa Gohan isn't one to judge when it comes to guys and girls and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure that in his time, he would have known many great female martial artists. All that he would hope for is that Master Roshi one day wouldn't get any ideas. But unfortunately, he doesn't live to see the day. Because, you know, the whole thing with Zaru getting squished by Goku, that still happens, unfortunately. And the young child has absolutely no recollection of it whatsoever. But luckily for her, as we all know, Goku is the kind of person that can easily live off the land. Now, the real question would be this. Would Grandpa Gohan still call the baby Goku? Well, I think so. To me, Goku is a gender-neutral name. In the Dragon World, you can have all sorts of crazy, wacky names. It doesn't matter what you identify as. In fact, you're almost weirder for having two names rather than one, if you think about it. I believe that maintaining the status quo with Goku's name is pretty much reasonable. Now, the first real twist in proceedings would be the moment when Goku has first contact with Bulma. Instead of Goku not knowing what a girl is and all that crazy hijinks, she would know exactly what a girl is because, you know, she is one. Bulma initially would be rather astounded that a young girl would be living on her own in the middle of the woods for some reason. But Goku would easily brush this off, saying that, oh, I've been living in the forest for years, I've been perfectly fine. At first, Bulma would be pretty horrified that this child has just been living rough for so many years, but then, at the same time, I think she would actually develop a lot of respect. She's kind of intrigued. This is a girl who seems physically capable. That is so cool. It doesn't really matter right now, because Bulma is extremely hungry, and Goku knows where to get some lunch, and not having to rough it off with some berries, or forage for animals, or anything like that. And of course, the 4-star ball's there, so of course she's gonna go. Now, the reason why I think Bulma would be quite endeared to Goku at this point, is because being the daughter of Dr. Breeze, the most successful scientist on Earth right now, you've pretty much seen everything at this point. Nothing should surprise her, but this does. Then, as they begin their adventure, instead of spending the first part of it with Bulma lambasting the boy Goku for being so clueless about everything, I actually think her and the female Goku would hit it off pretty well.
I agree.
She would want to know everything about Goku, what it's like to fend for yourself,
is so cool.
live on the land, live in the countryside. Considering that she's a city girl, she's not used to it. It's a real eye-opener for her and changes her perspective entirely. And I think this will mark the beginning of a rather interesting and beautiful friendship. this isn't just one-way traffic. Goku, she finds Bulma pretty cool too. The fact that she has all these cool gadgets and gizmos and wears those clothes and stuff like that, being so feminine, this is really intriguing to her as well. In the end, I think they would actually learn a lot from one another, and they would end up being mutually much more fulfilled in life. And over the course of the early arcs, I feel that Goku would end up being a lot more clued up about the world at large and being a little less boneheaded with these kind of things. So,
because yeah, guys are boneheads.
Gas, as it were.
Y'all gotta admit that.
To learn more. But then, Gohan's greatest fear comes true. They come across Master Roshi. However, Roshi isn't interested in Goku because, as far as he's concerned, Goku's just a little kid. But Bulma, though, we all know how that goes. But she still gets the Nimbus for rescuing Turtles, so that whole thing still happens, and pretty much they're on their merry way. Before they get to the bit with Oolong, Bulma's still getting to grips with Goku and her life. And I feel that her obsession with the Dragon Balls and being so fixated on finding a boyfriend or a lifetime surprise strawberries would actually start to wane a little bit. She's finding Goku the most interesting of subjects.
That's good.
As well as a friend. Goku right now is teaching
because that was just like stupid. That's almost as stupid.
And a girl. It is okay
it's almost as stupid as 17's wish for shit
there is no
in Super.
Need for a knight in shining armor when you can basically bench lift a car. You know, like Goku did with Bulma's Renault 5 right at the start. Then we got another pretty interesting moment when the gang encounter Yamcha in the desert. Now remember, Yamcha isn't the stud muffin that we are so accustomed to in modern-day Dragon Ball. Oh no. At the time of our first encounter with him, he's basically terrified of young girls, or any kind of girl for that matter. However, when Yamcha comes across Goku, he isn't entirely sure about whether Goku's a girl or not because Goku doesn't dress like one. So he's gonna do his bandit ways and the two continue their fight like they do in the original story. This fight is rather fascinating and Yamcha's really getting into the element and finding Goku a worthy opponent. They treat each other as equals and he's feeling fired up. Instead of Bulma intervening at this point though, Yamcha and Goku's fight reaches its endpoint and the two of them end up on the ground, tired, completely bruised up, but feeling absolutely satisfied. Yamcha then gets up and is about to pilfer Goku's stuff, but then decides against it. And Puar cannot commend him enough. Yamcha actually bends down and asks Goku her name. Goku responds, and then it hits Yamcha that he basically beat up a girl. But you know what? He didn't actually notice. Nor, as he actually realized, is he even scared. Huh. Wow. I guess he's not scared anymore. Fighting Goku and being almost bested by someone like that has really opened Yamcha's eyes. It was almost like him overcoming and conquering his fear. So instead of him skulking around trying to get the Dragon Balls and then trying to be a peeping Tom with Bulma, he decides that, screw the desert, I'm gonna go and join these guys. I wanna find more and really conquer this fear once and for all. So Yamcha's with the group almost at once. Now, when it comes to Goku's mission with Chi-Chi to extinguish Fire Mountain by grabbing Master Roshi, I think Chi-Chi's reaction to Goku would still be the same, but rather in a more platonic way. She finds Goku to be so cool and confident.
Why you gotta be platonic about it?
She's asking Goku so many questions about her life. She wants to know everything. Goku is still pretty naive at this point and just says, I just like to fight. Chi-Chi then doubts this mentality and is just thinking, oh no, that's silly. Girls aren't supposed to fight. Right? And yet here is Goku seemingly doing so. Mind blown. As for the rest of the arc, it kind of plays out the same it does in the original story. Goku's gender doesn't really factor into the equation anymore because they still gotta beat Emperor Pilaf and his gang and make sure that he doesn't get the Dragon Balls. And sure enough, they succeed.
That would make me love Dragon Ball
in the original
so
story,
much more,
Goku
I think.
and Bulma and Yamcha, they would go their separate ways. But
I love a
this
powerful
time,
heroine.
Goku's so fascinated about Bulma and they really hit it off very well. I think Goku would actually tag along with them, and Goku would begin to understand the world around her. Granted, I think it would take a while for Goku to get to grips with things, but I think she would enjoy the experience. It all culminates with Goku's mindset being rather balanced and much more savvy. The next biggest turning point would be when Krillin arrives. In the original story, Krillin despised Goku for being so arrogant and brash and finding everything absolutely easy where he struggled so much. Goku at that point didn't deserve to be taught by Master Roshi, but this time though, I think things are rather different. Krillin, instead of being angry, is actually rather curious. A strong girl? Wow. He didn't experience this while he was training to be a monk. Just watching Goku outwit him in basic combat was a real eye-opener for him. And I think it led to Krillin's snobbish personality at the time being eschewed much faster than it was. The next 8 months of training with Master Roshi then continue on, with Goku and Krillin becoming firm friends. But Goku's not into Krillin that way. Well, why? They're amigos. And remember, this is jumping out of the story for a moment, Goku's a Saiyan. Saiyans have a rather strange concept of love in the fact they don't really have one. And now that I think about it, Krillin's fascination with strong girls, I actually kind of get it now. Because you know Krillin 18 in the original timeline, his fascination with her, yeah, it kind of checks out. But we mustn't dawdle, because it's a time for the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. That plays out the same way as it does in the original, with Jackie Chun representing and becoming champion. As far as he is concerned, Goku is his pupil. Goku's not getting any special treatment. Again, the next few arcs play out as they do in the original story, until we get to the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. And of course we have the Turtle students, Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, as well as Jackie Chun, representing once more. But this time, we have an additional candidate, and that is Chi-Chi. Yeah, she managed to convince Ox King upon witnessing Goku that she wanted to become a fighter and learn martial arts to defend the honor of Fire Mountain and their family.
That would come
as much as the Ox King wouldn't want to see his daughter get hurt in any way, he also applauds her for the fact that she wants to stand up for her family honor in that kind of way and defend it however she can. So Ox King and Roshi have a bit of a talk, and they agree that Chi-Chi can take part in his turtle school after the tournament is done, to see what she can do. In the matchup, Goku sure enough gets drawn with Chi-Chi, and yeah, despite the fight being impressive, it's a foregone conclusion. Goku takes the win, but how does she take the win? Chi-Chi's basically trying too hard to impress Roshi. Goku then just tells her after the fight that you need to relax. You need to just listen to your body, learn from your instincts, and then just go. Goku then tells Chi-Chi that they should fight in the next tournament to see how she can do against her. Chi-Chi smiles and agrees that next time she will try harder by not trying hard. Then, of course, we got Goku's fight with Krillin. Krillin is absolutely focused.
The tail grab.
He will beat Goku. He goes all out against her, and Goku can sense this, so she returns the favor. But nonetheless, Goku still gets the win with multi-kicks that Krillin cannot sense or anticipate. When all is said and done, Krillin and Goku get up and they high-five each other. Good fight. Now we have the final. Ten Shinhan versus Goku. This is quite possibly one of Goku's most challenging fights to date. Ten Shinhan still goes on to win the tournament and apologizes for being a little too rough. Goku doesn't want to hear any of this. Goku is just thrilled that she's been pushed to this kind of limit and wants to fight again. Ten Shinhan, being rather surprised, agrees to fight again one day, finding this fighter to be rather refreshing. Sadly, the death of Krillin still happens, and this time, Goku's feelings about it are far different. It isn't just the sorrow
that
of
scene
losing
makes
a
me
friend.
cry,
This
but
time, it's a deeper, more primal sorrow, and the fury bubbles up much more ferociously than before. So she is determined to avenge Krillin's death even more so. The rest of the arc still pans out as it does in the original story, with Piccolo succeeding in getting the Dragon Balls, turning younger, and then overthrowing the government. But this time, Goku gets a bit more of a power boost, and is more angry and determined and less likely to give Piccolo any kind of mercy. And also this time, Ten Shinhan, while he's doing his best to help, is also supported by Chi-Chi because she's still around at the tournament. So, yeah, okay, we know the story. Goku goes on to win against Piccolo. Piccolo Jr. is born, so that still happens. We then skip forward a little bit to the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, and Goku is now a fully grown woman. And yet again, her mentality is still the same as it was when we first met her. However, the time that she spent with Bulma does make her aware of her femininity, but that doesn't matter right now. This is a tournament, and this is what Goku lives for. She lives to fight. Something that she enjoys more than anything else in the world. When they actually all meet, and Krillin claps eyes on Goku for the first time in, about 3 years? You know, his heart does skip a beat. Chi-Chi is there too, having trained with Krillin and Roshi for the past 3 years, and having got up to speed. She's been waiting for Goku to return, to show the fruits of her training, to prove that this fight will be a lot less one-sided than it was before. She is looking to make
I want to
Goku
see what
proud,
she would
as
actually
well as
look
her
like
father proud,
by this
because for the
time.
first time, he is here to watch his daughter fight. And understandably, he's a little bit nervous because, "No, Chi-Chi, I don't want to see you get hurt, no." When Goku does fight Chi-Chi in the second
sounds
match,
just like
this
him.
fight is surprisingly close. Goku is impressed by Chi-Chi's focus this time around, and has to go to really great lengths to sometimes not get thrown out of the ring unwittingly. However, Goku's training does come into its own, as well as her stamina. So Chi-Chi is bested by being hurled out of the ring and getting
Did someone
a little bit exhausted.
fan art her?
Goku
I
then
want to
jumps
see
down and
that.
congratulates Chi-Chi, saying that fight was awesome. That was such a great warm-up. Warm-up? Chi-Chi finds this absolutely infuriating. This is not what she wanted to hear, so this just makes her even more riled up. So she just walks up in anger, grumbling to herself that, "Oh, Goku, I'm gonna get you once we start training again. I'll show you." As for the fight with Piccolo Jr., well, pretty much happens the same as it does in the original arc. The fight is still vicious, with Goku getting the win out of sheer determination. The scenario ends for now, with Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, Tenshinhan, and Chi-Chi all promising to train together and be stronger than ever. They're going to come back to the next tournament and show each other who is the best. It's almost like the Breakfast Club, but with combat. So there we go. I think actually, for the most part, Goku's gender switch wouldn't really make much difference. The only real complication or adjustment I can really see is that Krillin has a bit of a crush on Goku, and Chi-Chi is much more likely to join the Z-Fighters full time. And of course, Gohan at this point isn't born. This might have further complications later on, but right now, Goku is in her
You think?
element. She is much more in touch with the world around her.
That's how you're
and
gonna
is
have
much more in
Gohan.
control of her mind.
Or
This could actually
Goten.
lead to great things with the Z-Fighters actually being much more sociable with each other, hanging out a lot more, instead of going for 5 years without seeing each other. So, hanging out with each other every week, training and stuff. That could be really cool. Who knows? They might end up actually being even stronger. So what do you guys think? Do you like this idea?
I
Do you
think I
Goku
like
and
this
Krillin will get
idea,
together?
and I think
Or
you
do
need to
Goku
do
will carry on
more.
to be a lone warrior?
I'll have to see how
Leave
many
a comment
episodes
below,
there are
and
of
let's
this
get this
one.
discussion going.
But I hope
Anyway,
y'all enjoyed
I
this
hope you enjoyed this
reaction.
video.
I'm
Till the next
enjoying
one, be
this,
sure to like
and
and subscribe.
let me
Catch
know,
you later.
because I think we're finished with the R&R series. I think it'll be tomorrow, because this should be coming out on Thursday, and then Friday will be when the the R&R series will come out. So yep, it'll be coming out tomorrow, and I hope y'all enjoy that. But let me know what y'all want me to do after that. I was thinking of maybe doing some of Swag Kage's theories. He has good theories on Naruto and stuff. If y'all want me to do that, let me know. I thought that was interesting. And I'll keep doing more of Masako's theories and what if scenarios. So, until next time, hope y'all enjoyed that. Love y'all. Ciao.